Video game praise and criticism is weird sometimes. It has been so for years, honestly. Everyone watching this video right now has undoubtedly been in a situation where they liked a game that was generally disliked or disliked a game that was generally liked and got given shit for it. That's just normal gaming nature, harkening back to the ages of the PS2 already, where we didn't even have the internet, but if you dared to step into the playground and say that Need for Speed Underground 2 was ass, you'd get roasted by everyone for the rest of the school year. But recently, with some specific games, this concept has been pushed to the next level, where the praise for a game looks and feels insanely forced, and any criticism of it is met with straight up hostility, disbelief, and so much more than that we'll be exploring in this video today. This has been the case with games like Dragon Age Veilguard last year, Assassin's Creed Shadows earlier this year, also a little bit of Avowed, and is now also happening again with Ghost of Yotei. Yotei? I don't know fellas, look, I've said it both ways before and I got people in the comments telling me that it was the wrong way, so I just don't care anymore. Over the past week of the game being out, there have been a lot of weird reactions online to content in the game and to the criticism that people have shared, including even some copium and misrepresentations to try and divert the conversation, and also weird things that people chose to post as, well, I suppose it's the things that captivated players of this game the most, such as cutting bamboo, cooking fish, and looking around. We're gonna have a nice chill time here going through some of these, figuring out what's so special about the game to them, cracking down on diversions, calling out the BS, so on and so forth, so let's not waste any more time and jump right in. It's gonna be a long one though, so get yourselves a snack, order some KFC or something, I don't know. Unless you're washing this in the toilet, in which case, that's not a good idea. Anyway, let's move on. So the biggest thing that we've seen people share the most about on social media has been minigames, cute animals, and landscape shots. And the thing is that there's nothing wrong with showing off some random minigame that you really enjoyed. I am a big lover of minigames in these types of open world games. Chief among them are poker and liar's dice, especially in Red Dead Redemption 1, and this bowls game, I think that's the name of it, in Assassin's Creed 3, where it's like a mix of bowling and horseshoes. Oh, and speaking of horseshoes, I'm a simple man, and I love horseshoes in Red Dead Redemption 1 as well. Too bad it didn't make a return in Red Dead Redemption 2, but I do like the domino game, and I also like going into a random town and getting into fistfights with the locals. Maybe hogtie a few women, maybe take them down to the train track. Anyway, these are nice little quaint things to spend a bit of your time doing in these sprawling games, and I especially like the ones with a little bit of challenge to them or with an addicting loop. Nothing wrong with showing appreciation for that at all. But the thing that got me with this game in particular, that felt so incredibly forced in the case of Yotei, were posts like this one. Oh my god! Ghost of Yotei is a 10 out of 10. I am cooking this fish using my DualSense, moving it across the fire to cook different spots and flipping it so it doesn't burn. Well guys, to call an action-adventure ninja ronin game a 10 out of 10 because you can cook a fish by moving your controller around is truly something else. Something that I can't even properly express yet because we're still a little too early in the video, but suffice it to say that the last time that I was impressed by motion controls was when I was a little kid and I would go into game stores while my mom was shopping for clothes and shoes, and in those game stores sometimes there would be a Nintendo Wii in an expository thing so that, you could come in and try it on the store. Anyway, I guess some of us are just too easily impressed. Either way, it's fine. Maybe it's just a one-off tweet that popped off in the algorithm. Or so I thought. But no, this was actually a running theme. Over here we have Synth Potato, friend of the channel clearly, with this post. Oh my god, Ghost of Yotei is a work of art! Crying emoji. Imagine not playing this right now because of woke or some other insane reason. Sorry by the way, I don't want to do these voices, but it's exactly how the posts sound. Like if it wasn't for the crying emoji, I maybe would have read it different. Anyway, I absolutely love this one because there's 3 great layers to it. One of which we'll dissect a bit better in a following topic, But for this one right here, dealing with all of the surface scope, I find it very amusing that what he's posting here is the opening cutscene of the game. And unlike the opening sequence of Ghost of Tsushima, which is actually cinema with all of Tsushima's samurai marching to the beach to meet Khotan Khan and his invading army of Mongols in open war, here in Yotei it's completely different. It happens like 10 minutes into the game and there's nothing of note. I'm not even kidding. You watch a cutscene of Atsu as a child being attacked by a gang of morons in masks, just like in Assassin's Creed Shadows, then time skips immediately and you do a basic combat tutorial killing some bandits, plus a fight against one of the morons in a mask, and that's it. Then you ride out and this opening cutscene happens. So this guy has spent all of 10 minutes in the game, has literally experienced nothing in it so far besides pressing square to swing a sword around, and he's already calling the game a work of art. Another funny thing is the line below. Imagine not playing this right now. Again, play what? You literally haven't done anything yet, you don't even know what the game holds. And the most amusing part of it is that if the game was really that big, he'd be playing it instead of saving the clip on his PS5, extracting the clip to a flash drive or uploading it somewhere, and then moving the clip over to his PC or, downloading it from wherever he uploaded it to, getting the clip out and uploading it on Twitter to make this post. Is the game this boring that you couldn't wait to get off of it, or are people that aren't playing this game living so rent-free in your head that you can't even focus on the damn game in the first place? It's truly no wonder that this guy blocked me on X. The takes are so shit that it's impossible not to roast them. You won't see me cringe posting online about a game that just came out that I'm supposedly so excited about playing. If I'm locked in, I'm locked in. I'm not thinking about people who happen to not buy the game. Like, what the fuck is this? Here's another example of this weird glazing. In this post, also by SynthPotato, who has been pulling double shifts to shill for the game, he said that Ghost of Yotei and Ghost of Tsushima are the only games that have ever given him actual tranquility during gameplay, blah 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 blah, sucker punches, artists are truly special. And I actually found this one to be so sad because it shows that unless a developer specifically gives some of these people a fucking button to do a relaxation or zen-like thing, such as taking in the scenery while playing an instrument, which is the case with Tsushima and Yotei, then these morons will simply not find any tranquility at all on their own. If this isn't a prime example of idiots needing to be force-fed literally everything in a video game, I don't know what is. I find tranquility in various games that I played. Recently, I've been playing Dying Light the Beast and Bleak Faith Forsaken, and both of them have provided that. And guys, this is just to use a recent example because of having been playing these games. If I actually went through my shelf, game by game, I would find even more examples of this. You can find relaxation in so many games. Both of these games that I just mentioned aren't even games that have a relaxation button in which the protagonist starts playing an instrument as if giving the player the hint or the permission to relax, but they are games in which you can find peaceful spots in the world and take in the beautiful or daunting sights in them, while the game appropriately cues in ambient music. These clips are from Bleak Faith Forsaken. It's a game I've been loving and that I found totally by accident. I was just browsing a game store and there it was. I checked it out online and it gave me the purest throwback to what it looked and felt like exploring the earlier areas of Dark Souls 1 way back in my first playthrough. Easily my favorite FromSoft game. Well, with a bit of competition with Bloodborne, to be fair. So I bought it and I was pleasantly surprised. It's like Dark Souls had a baby with Stalker or something. The physical version even came with a mini comic book, and this is just the kind of game where Souls-like fatigue doesn't even hit because it feels so different, despite it also being clearly an independent game with a lower budget. It's also far less punishing while you're playing it, so, it's not as difficult. It's a game I want to suggest to people, but I don't even know how because my channel is still too small for me to get views just off of being an upload of mine. My Atomfall review showed that. and since this game is barely known, I can't really rely on its own namesake either, so it's a tough situation to try and get eyes on it, so hopefully this little aside on this video will help a bit. But anyway, I hope my point got across. You don't need a damn button that basically says, "Hey player, feel free to relax now," in order for you to take the damn world in and relax. All you need is some expert work from the developers crafting striking locations, or beautiful ones, and a rich atmosphere that evokes some form of emotion, relaxation away from danger in Dying Light's case, and a desolate sort of grandiosity in Bleak Faith Forsaken. However, for the strange fans of Ghost of Yotei, this very basic thing is immediately just another reason to pretend like this game is the most impressive, unique, innovative and striking thing since grilled cheese. Especially because there's a little button that lets you play your guitar. Here's another example of another mini-game making the rounds online with millions of views across different posts. Bamboo cutting, something that was also present in the first game way back in 2020 and, you know, for the life of me, I'll never understand why the gaming scene back in 2020 didn't shit itself over bamboo cutting, but now in 2025, we've had it happen twice already. First, if you'll recall, it was with Assassin's Creed Shadows, as a clip hit millions and millions of views with thousands upon thousands of shares of a guy cutting bamboo fences as Yasuke and being super impressed with it, which then prompted people to share all manner of other clips cutting other crap, like watermelons.
What do you mean by that?
Which in turn prompted detractors to pop up on the other side of the conversation and show clips of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, a game from the PS3 generation that had impressive slicing mechanics, which of course got the usual shill accounts all up in arms without understanding the issue at hand. People like this Nicola guy here, who also pops up around these arguments way too often. "Oh, these fucking disingenuous hate posts, man. No shit, a game that revolves around slicing as a primary feature does slicing better than an AC game. What are you gonna tell me next? Mario did jumping better in 1985? Like, damn bro, just calm down. Take a breath, play some guitar or something. Why do these people get so angry? Do you see the weirdness here? Why all of this animosity over a game getting some mild criticism? The dude was just showing some slicing technology from a PS3 game. Like, why do they get so angry? Can somebody educate me in the comments, please? Also, this argument didn't even make any sense. Arguably, jumping has been much better in various other games since Super Mario, but whatever. The point is that when you have a terrific game with great minigames or great side features, such as slicing technology, that's good. But when you have a bad game that fundamentally misses so much, as was the case with Assassin's Creed Shadows, then going online to glaze random shit like slicing bamboo or giving the game vast amounts of praise over it is just ridiculous and cringeworthy. And now it's been the case again with Ghost of Yotei, where we see morons saying the game is a 10 because of cooking a fish with a controller, or a work of art because of the intro cutscene after a basic ass combat tutorial. It feels very forced, although I do have to admit it is very funny to see. Here's another post with millions of views and thousands of shares of just a dude shitting his pants because during the bamboo cutting minigame, there's foxes in the background cheering for you. Again, man, I don't know what happened between 2020 and 2025, but I don't remember this kind of cringe posting being so relevant with Tsushima and the minigames there, or the activity of following foxes to religious shrines so that you could pray and increase your ability points. I don't understand why this has become such an obsession here. Another stupid bamboo post that got millions of views was this one by Dan's Gaming, where he shared a bamboo cutting sequence with the caption, "This was mean," prompting a bunch of funny reposts such as this one. Cinematic game fans when asked to push buttons in a video game. Hey man, listen, as a cinematic game fan myself, I gotta say, this was perfect. I grabbed my controller while unplugged to see if it was some specifically difficult lineup of buttons to hit, but it wasn't even the case. This shit was a walk in the park. It reminded me of back when I used to hit button sequences like these to quickly enter a cheat code in a GTA game, which sometimes, you had to be fast, because if you were being chased by the police or whatever, you had to enter the code to get more health or to reduce the police stars. players. You know, I have no idea what about this was mean or challenging, like this other moron was saying, but I mean, listen. It just is what it is. All that I can say here is that these are not the type of things that would make me record a clip and upload it online. Like if I had a very cool combat sequence where I looked badass, I would upload that. If I found a really cool piece of armor and I wanted to do some fashion souls or whatever, then yes, I would record a clip and I would put it up. But this stuff, I feel pretty goddamn disconnected from the hype for this game and for the hype for any game. Like if this happened with Dying Light the Beast, I would be feeling the same way. Like with Dying Light the Beast, I've been seeing clips of people having fun with zombies, you know, because of the physics engine is pretty goddamn good again. I've been seeing clips of people going crazy with a grappling hook, being able to swing from trees and from buildings like Spider-Man. If instead of these clips I saw people, I mean, I don't know, tickling a zombie in the ass like, look at the cute zombie, huh? I would be like, what the fuck is going on? But then again, to be fair, Dying Light the Beast doesn't have like 76 different mini-games for you to shake your controller at, so there's that. But anyway, enough bamboo cutting and all this other crap, it's making me dizzy at this point. What followed was people making the observation that it was weird that all that they were seeing on their timelines from Ghost of Yotei was shit like this, random minigames, cute animals, or landscape shots, while people called it Game of the Year, with next to no actual gameplay or dope story details, which let's face it, it doesn't exist. Some dude, actually Nicola again, thought that he'd be smart by posting some combat footage and calling this out. Can people share gameplay instead of cooking mechanics or drone footage? Maybe you hillbillies should scroll past the length of your thumb. I found this very amusing because it proved people's point. Here's his combat post with just 56,000 views, and then here's the posts from the fish cooking thing and the opening cutscene glaze, both with multiple millions of views each. And the ones that I showed you guys now are the same, like the bamboo cutting one and the one with the foxes. Showing that it's not really a hillbilly problem, it's literally what's mostly circulating the internet about the game right now. It's what it's appealing to these Ghost of Yotei glazers. It's what they shared the most of, it's what people watched the most of, it's what people shared the most of, and it's apparently what people also commented on the most. It's what glazers adhere to the most as well. Like I said, these are not the kind of things that would make me stop and upload a clip, but at all. Not even close. I would be uploading combat clips or something at most. But for these people, it's like, oh my god, a fox is reacting to me cutting this bamboo. I really need to share this with the world. And one of the funniest things about this that I found out later was that these aren't even really minigames. Like obviously, like cooking a fish isn't a goddamn minigame, not a mini-game, it's a gimmick. It's not like a tense game of liar's dice or a careful horseshoe bowling match that requires precision, it's just cooking a fish. It's something that I hope is skippable because if you're like 20 hours in and you're still having to do that slow shit to have a meal, it's going to piss people off. Even these fake-ass social media glazers. But there is a minigame that I found while browsing X that actually feels like a minigame, which is this coin flicking thing which seems kind of familiar to the horseshoe bowling game from Assassin's Creed 3. It's just too bad that barely anybody's talking about it. I guess the visuals just aren't as good since we're looking down at a table and it's missing some cute animals in the background having a seizure so that these retards can feel engaged. Anyway, enough minigame roasting, let's get on to the next thing. A funny form of copium that has been getting shared around online in regards to people who aren't interested in playing this game is this post right here where, oh, look at that, it's Nicola again. Huh, I knew he posted a lot of copium, but he really is on a retard streak today. This man is working double time to look stupid, but anyway, it'll never not be amusing to me how much time these people spend online coping about a game instead of actually playing it. I actually get sad sometimes because my free time is basically just working on videos these days, and sometimes I just want to play more Dying Light or more Hell Is Us or some other things in my backlog, but I can't because I gotta get working on a new script or put together a new video or go play something else for footage so that you guys don't roast me for using the same footage over and over again, you know, all that good stuff. But, anyway, I guess that, again, Ghost of Yotei just really isn't that engaging. The post reads, "If you can't stand women in video games, this year sure sucked for you." And it's just yet another classic example of these people never being able to engage honestly with anything that pertains to gaming discourse. They just make random shit up to serve as straw men for them to fight against, because in an actual debate that actually talks about individual issues some game or another may have, they got nothing. The picture features the girls from Split Fiction, a February release that people enjoyed pretty much universally, Atsu from Yotei, of course, whose issues run much deeper. I have 2 videos that cover 2 different aspects of it, none of which have to do with her being a woman in a video game. However, there's also a third aspect that, is also very important, that cropped up over the past few weeks with the whole thing with Charlie Kirk, where it became impossible to separate the game from the activists working on it, and it became impossible to separate Atsu, the character, from her actress and face model, who is an actual radical far-left activist who touts being a member of Antifa with her wife. For some, this doesn't matter, but for others, it does, and it is their right to be disinterested in the game, or to choose to boycott it. And it has nothing to do with the protagonist being a female, and all to do with far more complex reasons that I detailed in those videos. Then we've got Wu Chang from the game Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, which was actually praised. Ironically, it was praised in contrast with Atsu, showing developers in the industry what a good female protagonist design looks like, especially from Asia, where the girl is still not sexualized, yet she is still beautiful and striking. The main complaints this game got was its performance and nothing to do with the female protagonist. The only people who were attacking this game because of the female protagonist were actually games journalists, so, fucking check yourself, dumbass. Next up, we got Naue from Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is another funny case because a screenshot is now being shared in comparison to Atsu, where people are far more affable to Naue's appearance instead of Atsu. Regardless, Shadows was a game with a bunch of problems, neither of which had anything to do with one of the protagonist being a woman. If anything, people preferred Naue to Yasuke because she's actually a ninja with a hidden blade in an Assassin's Creed game, rather than a big brute who can't do stealth assassinations or climb walls. Next up, we have the biggest scope ever with Luna and Mael from Expedition 33, the most beloved game of this year. I'd also throw in CL here because, yeah, people absolutely love these characters, and it only goes to disprove this retarded fucking post. This game was universally loved, and people like myself who criticize some of these things in the industry actively use these ladies right here as examples to follow by other studios in how to design and write proper female characters. Then he threw in Hornet from Silksong, which, I don't even care. First, it's yet another game with mass appeal, people like this game, and second, does it even count as a woman when it's a weird little bug in a weird little universe of more bugs? I don't know, one way or another, it's another thing making this post look utterly stupid. Next up, we got 2 characters from Death Stranding 2. I haven't played this game yet, so I don't know their names, but what I do know is that this is yet another unproblematic game when it comes to female characters. In fact, the only posts I've seen these girls in were posts showing how good the facial animations were and how good the scans were of their faces versus other games that botched their female character models for no reason whatsoever. And lastly, we have the protagonist of Silent Hill F, which I know next to nothing about. Silent Hill isn't really my thing at all, and so I've been out of the loop with this one too. Honestly, this post is just copium, not only because the very examples he used work against the point that he's trying to make, but also because it ignores a bunch of other beloved female protagonists and side characters in gaming that we've always loved. People like this always go down the disingenuous angle to try and make people look bad, just to defend whatever piece of slop they've dedicated their lives and Twitter dollars to do so. It's pathetic. It's funny, don't get me wrong, it's very funny. I've been entertaining myself endlessly with these posts, but it is pathetic, and I don't even bother playing their game anymore. I just let them keep on crying in their posts about those of us who simply decided to not play a video game. Imagine that crime. Isn't that a crime, fellas? You decide not to play a video game and you get shit for it? Honestly, how dare you? How dare you guys not support the stunning and brave girl boss Ghost of Antifa simulator? Like, how could you? Have you seen the bamboo? Have you at least seen the bamboo? There's been some other forms of copium about the character, you know, this is an article that made me chuckle quite a bit when I saw it. Just the title alone was so bad that I couldn't even continue and read the rest of it, which is mighty fine for me and for you guys too, so that this video isn't 2 hours long. Atsu is far more fearsome than Jin Sakai in Ghost of Yotei. Stunning, brave, and fearsome. I don't know if you guys know this yet, but her special ability in this game is she screams. When you get a nice little kill streak going, you know, you press L3 and R3 at the same time, and she'll just go. Oh my god, this is so goddamn good, dude. It reminds me of this thing that happened at a game developers conference in 2024, where a bunch of gathered outside and just started screaming to protest the state of the industry. I have no idea what the hell they were really, you know, screaming about anymore. I don't know if they were screaming about getting laid off. I don't know if they were screaming about the chuds who weren't buying their video games. I have no idea. All I know is here you go. Just have a look at the video yourselves. This is real, by the way. This isn't like some guy recording video of them cheering for something or whatever. No, this really is something that happened where a bunch of activists in the games industry gathered around and decided to protest by screaming. So every time I see this power up from our girl Atsu here in the video game, this is all that I can see. And you know what, fellas, I'm not gonna lie to you, if I was a random bandit in feudal Japan or whenever the fuck this is set, I would be pretty goddamn scared too. There was also this one here, I'll just read it, there's no way around it, I'll just read. Atsu is sarcastic and very hot. Jin was sarcastic too sometimes, but Atsu is more sarcastic and very hot. I never knew I would be crushing over a game character after Lara Croft, Ada Wong, and Bayonetta. Guys, all that I can say here is that I hope that this is bait, because if it isn't, I don't think this level of brain damage is repairable. And by the way, I'm not even hating, like you can't even target me with this and say, oh, it's bullying, etc, because already in a previous video I have said that Erika Ishii herself does not look as bad as the character does. I've seen pictures of her online back when I was doing one of my previous videos, and she didn't look like this. Now, granted, there's other pictures of her where she's caught looking a bit rougher, like this here in some studio, but there's dozens of way better shots of her where she looks good. The developers simply decided to make her look like this instead because of what I already laid out in the previous video. They're not interested in making iconic characters that look good, they're interested in challenging the norms of iconic characters by trying to brute force unconventional designs into being iconic. Sadly though, you can only do that if your character and the story is well written, and also if the character at least looks striking. It doesn't need to look good, it doesn't need to be beautiful, it doesn't need to be hot, it doesn't need to have big mogumbos over at the front or the back, it doesn't need any of that, but she needs to at least look striking. And honestly, from what I've seen, this hasn't really been the case with Yotei, so I mean, it just is what it is. I suppose time will tell if Atsu becomes an iconic character for PlayStation. And besides, at the end of the day, even fans of the game are agreeing with me when it comes to this point. Like this dude here, who doesn't like that there's way too many unflattering pictures of Atsu online from people who don't even play the game. And so then he shared a flattering picture of Atsu of his own where half of her face is covered up by a hat. You guys can go ahead and make of that what you will, because I'm done commenting on this. Oh my god, you can't make this shit up, man. Like, this video is getting painful to get through, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm laughing through the pain, but please drop some love in the like button or the comments to help the video along, because I'm definitely going to need some Tylenol after this shit. Now let's take a look at the reception to other criticism as well. An annoying but simultaneously very amusing thing about these games that get worshipped as deities by both video game journalists, activists in the industry, and shills on social media is that you can't really criticize them. If you are uninterested, or if you do criticize them, you're just some kind of an asshole and these people just hate you for it, just for not being all the way in on the bandwagon. And they go hard too, like I've gotten so much hate for my criticism or just plain disinterest in this game, and it's like, I'm not even the worst one. Cause even though I have my gripes with this game, I don't hate it. Like, I'm not on a crusade against the game or the people who are playing it. In my video covering the boycott going on against it, and also, you know, giving my reasons as to why I didn't want to support it, I didn't hardline it for viewers. Like, if you want to get it, shit, go ahead and get it. I'm not gonna get ass mad on the internet over a video game, like I have self-awareness here. At the end of the day, it is just a video game, even though, to be fair, the controversy around it did go a bit further than that. These people don't have any self-awareness though. They literally find a video on the internet that has nothing to do with them or their lives, they'll get mad at it, and then they'll comment something like, "Keep crying, bigot." And it's like, crying? But I'm having a great time here. I just shared my opinion. The people who get triggered by it are the ones crying. And like, I've seen even more ridiculous things, because I've seen people staying away from the toxic matters, such as the whole controversy surrounding the actress, or things like the look of the character, and merely posting technical issues in the game. Like, that's it. Just technical issues, like Atsu walking through objects, for example, or the lack of certain smaller details like dirt and water not impacting the clothes. And even small stuff like this is met with fanboys and shills getting mad at it, calling it fake outrage, like, oh, the outrage for this game is so forced. Like, can anything negative at all be said about this game? Can anything negative at all be said here, or are we all just supposed to, you know, just oh yes, I very much like this video game. It is best video game I've ever played in many years. I've been alive many years. This is best video game ever. It has the best graphic. It has the best sand. It has the best fluffy clouds in the sky. It has the best furry foxes on the ground. It has the best bamboo cutting that I've ever seen in any video game. It has the best story, it has the best character, the best everything. I am so happy. This game has no flaw. It is the best game I have ever played. Oh, suck my nuts, again with this word that I've seen so many times before, this fake outrage or forced hatred. And it's yet again more strawman bullshit, because there's no outrage or hatred. It's just people pointing things out. The only people outraged and with hatred in their hearts are the shills and the fanboys who can't stand any measure of talkback about this goddamn game. Going back to that first post from the first topic that I said that I would bring back, where Synth Potato says, "Oh goodness gracious, imagine not playing this right now because of woke or some other insane reason." Even the mere lack of interest in this game is a problem for these people, and I'm gonna nip it in the bud right now. It's time for some real talk. Ghost of Tsushima way back in 2020 was already not an inherently special game that stood as a must-play. What made it special was the main character and the story that it presented, because when it came to the gameplay and the open world structure, what Ghost of Tsushima basically was an open world action RPG era Assassin's Creed game if it was made with more attention and more care than what Ubisoft put into them. More polish, more style, and just in general more thought put into it, where for instance, instead of 87 map markers all over the place and a bloated user interface with tools and weapon elements, plus a compass, plus a fucking XP counter, and big yellow letters telling us where to go and how much damage we just did, and what to do next for the side quest number 15 that we picked up 3 hours ago, instead we had nothing at all. Instead of map markers and a compass, we had wind pointing us to our main objectives and birds pointing us to interesting side activities or collectibles. The visuals were stylized in a very clear way where anything that was relevant would just pop out of the ground in case of things for you to pick up, or in case of places in the distance that you might want to visit. Also, of course, it was beautiful to look at with a striking use of color and very smooth texturing, all of which was very unique to the game at the time. These were Sucker Punch's own unique ways of trying to stand out, but inherently at its core, it was like an Assassin's Creed game, but better, with nice combat, open world exploration, stealth, enemy outposts to clear, the occasional side quest, etc., just with a much better story and writing than Ubisoft has bothered to put into their games since 2013 with Black Flag or something. Now with Ghost of Yotei, the original's novelty has already worn off, and from what I've been seeing online, it's even worse than I initially thought, and the moment-to-moment gameplay is very similar to what we got in the first game. Ironically, the bigger differences end up being all of these little mini-games and gimmicks that they have put in to, I guess, add more to the immersion or something, although, like I said before, the more of it there is, and the more repetitive it gets as you're playing a long game that goes on for hours and hours, they're going to get very tiring if they don't give us an option to skip. But anyway, that's not really relevant right now. These things that they added are not terrible things. However, they're also not things that are going to draw in people. Especially because we no longer have the incentive of continuing Jin Sakai's story. There's a lot of people coping online about Jin sucked, Atsu is way better, the first game was weak, the story was worse, this one is way better. Are you fucking serious? Again, I don't even want to entertain playing their mind games. It just is what it is. You go back to the origins of the Assassin's Creed franchise and you got the example of the Ezio trilogy. If you compare all three games, they are very similar to one another. From Assassin's Creed 2 to Brotherhood, the main differences were a bump in the visuals, a single bigger open world map rather than different regions, and a few changes to the combat, introducing the kill streak executions, unlocking big weapons for us to carry, quick use projectiles, etc. Then, from Brotherhood to Revelations, we had a bit of a visual bump again, the introduction of the hook blade, which had some new combat and parkour uses, throwable bombs, and some other new shit in the story like the tower defense game. These were all small things, but people kept buying these games one after the other anyway because they were invested in Ezio's and Desmond's story. Surprise, surprise, people actually care about their fucking characters if they're written well and their stories are interesting, which in Ezio's case, they actually were. He was a charismatic guy and we were rebuilding the Assassin's Brotherhood, practically giving it its own renaissance, in our fight to liberate Rome from the Borgias, who were also compelling villains with actors who gave a shit.
You are not going anywhere. I have the piece of Eden. Get out of my way, old man. I gave you everything, and yet it's never enough.
Cesare! He intends to poison you!
You would not listen to reason.
Father, do you not see? I control all of this. If I want to live, I live. If I want to take, I take. If I want you to die, you die! Ah!
More than that, we were developing a character story throughout multiple games, watching Ezio grow into a man and then mature into a mentor. And the best part is that it felt like we earned it. It felt like we got there because we saw it, we played through it the entire way. And this seems like an art form that's been fucking lost these days, as so many studios make a game and then move on with another character. And it's not even that they're not doing sequels, as in prioritizing making a new game and a new IP, which is something good and I would understand. What they're doing instead is they're doing a goddamn sequel anyway, it's just that they're throwing away their previous characters to introduce some new schmuck. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but when it's done for all the wrong reasons, it never does. And in recent years, that's all that Sony has been doing. for all the wrong reasons. They release a good game with compelling characters to lure in the players, and then for the sequels they bait and switch them with another character that just takes over the narrative. Sometimes more than one. In The Last of Us we lost Joel, and even Ellie was sidelined to prioritize Abby. In Spider-Man, Peter got cucked to prioritize Miles, as the studio even announced that for Spider-Man 3, Miles would be the leading Spider-Man because apparently Peter needs to retire and take a break at the ripe age of fucking 24. But even then, even Miles himself got cucked in Spider-Man 2 so we could have his side missions be about the BLM and some black musician museum, courtesy of Sweet Baby Inc., no doubt. And if that wasn't enough, they also had to force in a playable section as Haley, Miles's deaf girlfriend, and a bunch of them focused on Mary Jane, because the director himself said that it didn't matter what they had to cut out, they would prioritize this shit to show MJ as a capable hero.
She's OP. And if she's low OP, I don't give a shit. She's fine. I don't care. To the point where I say, we're going to do it. I don't care. We'll cut other stuff because I want to make sure that it's important to show her be a capable hero.
And now fellas, excuse me for just one moment because I gotta say something. What the fuck is Sony running here? A daycare center for activists? A soy factory for middle-aged losers? You're cutting out actually worthwhile content in trade for making sure that you showcase Mary Jane and Haley as relevant, capable heroes? This is what you're doing with the $315 million budget that Sony and Marvel entrust to you? You know man, it's sad because I loved hearing this guy's excitement for the first game back in 2018. But that guy is gone, and what's left is a corporate husk that lost sight of his priorities. Insomniac is no more, now we've got Insomniac. God of War was mostly spared of this thus far, but I think the next game is going to have a very bad surprise for us, because during the plot and ending of Ragnarok, it is shown that Atreus is heading out on some grand adventure with the race-swapped Angrboda, while Kratos is settling into his new role as the God of War of the new Pantheon. So for all we know, we're going to get bait and switch to play as Atreus and the token brave and stunning Angrboda, which were hands down the worst parts of Ragnarok, all while a bunch of soy jacks on Twitter tell us that no, Kratos' story is already told. Who cares about Kratos anymore? He's old anyway, who cares? He's the old guard. Here's a hot take for you. If the story of your franchise's protagonist is over, then your franchise is over. Ain't nobody interested in getting a fucking successor that hasn't earned it. Either start a new IP or name it accordingly. Like you want to make an Atreus and Angrboda game, don't call it God of War, call it something else. Call it fucking, I don't know, Soy of War, there you go. For Uncharted, thankfully the franchise has gone quiet, but not before the last game was yet another bait and switch from Neil Druckmann, where we're playing as Chloe and Nadine. No, not Chloe and Charlie, not Chloe and Sully, not Chloe and Flynn, certainly not Chloe and Nathan, not even Chloe and Sam, he only popped up in the last few hours. Chloe and Nadine, one of the villains of Uncharted 4 who nobody gave a fuck about. Even the goddamn cartoon games aren't safe, with Ratchet being replaced with female Ratchet, like holy shit man. And now of course the one that hits me the hardest, we lose Jin Sakai, a character that could have been to Ghost of Tsushima what Ezio Auditore was to Assassin's Creed. But in return, hey, we got Ghost of Antifa, who shouts at her enemies to make them piss themselves.
Oh, thank God for that.
At least some developers out there still listen to their fan bases. With Dying Light the Beast, the studio brought back Kyle Crane, the beloved protagonist of the first game, and what a grand return this has been. Back stronger than ever, literally looking like a Giga Chad. Sony should take a few notes here. Actually, never mind, it's too goddamn late anyway, and they don't listen to anyone because their company is caked with activists now. And all this just to circle us back to the point of this topic, which is this. Some of these soy jacks and shills online need to seriously take a step back and look at what they got in their hands here. This isn't a special game. None of the shit being praised online is original. The combat, same shit, different day. The open world design, same thing again. Assassin's Creed, but better because Ubisoft has been asleep at the wheel for years. The new minigames, well, they're new, I'll grant them that, but no amount of cringe posting about how amazing it is to cook a fish is going to make it true. true, okay? The gameplay, the core gameplay has not been changed at all. There are new things for traversal, there are no new things for playing the game in the moment to moment, you know what I'm saying? The gorgeous drop-dead visuals? Nothing new, it's the same style as Tsushima. Besides, visuals are never a good incentive for this type of game anyway. Even the combat wasn't fundamentally changed. You got new weapons to use, but they took away the stance system. So now if you have a specific enemy that comes at you with a specific weapon, you can't just change stance with the weapon that you have to use it anyway. You gotta switch weapon because each weapon works in only one way, and this one way doesn't work for specific types of weapons. There was a reason for players like myself to be excited to jump in if we were following a beloved character's story. As it stands, it's just Tsushima all over again, but with a girl instead of a boy. So honestly, what is all this exaggeration? What is this rhetoric of like, oh my god, what a work of art, I can't believe the people who aren't playing this game. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Have you seen the games that have been releasing lately? Why would I prioritize a rehashed Tsushima that costs me to, $70 to $80 instead of Dying Light, Hell is Us, Chronos the New Dawn, etc., which are priced at $60, or hell, Battlefield 6, which is releasing soon and actually looks good for a change. Like, give me a break. At best, even if interested, Yotei will be cheaper to buy in a few months anyway, while the games in my backlog are far more affordable right now. Anyways guys, we're coming to a close here. I was going to touch on the sales, but I actually don't know much about them. I haven't really been following up on that. There's been rumors on both sides of the situation. Some rumors say that the game is selling extremely well and the game is super successful. Other rumors say the opposite, that the game is down by almost half of the numbers that Tsushima did. But it's difficult to know because there's no actual data just yet, so I'm just going to keep waiting, and honestly, I'm not really expecting anything either because, like I said, it is Ghost of Yotei, it's riding on the coattails of Ghost of Tsushima, and that obviously means that it has a good chance of still selling pretty goddamn well. And besides, it doesn't really change anything that was said in the video. Besides that, I've had people asking me if I was going to do a breakdown of the game. Some people asked in good faith and others in bad faith, meaning that some people are just genuinely interested in a video like that and others are just mad at me for talking about the game while not having played it. As I said in my previous video, I'm not interested in playing this game anytime soon, and I'm definitely not interested in giving Sucker Punch any of my money. This may change in the future if I get a used copy for cheap, or if my cousin lends me his copy of it when he finished it. By the way, as expected in the last video, he did buy it. He is currently one of 4 people in my big ass friends list playing it. Take from that information what you will. And so yeah, it's honestly even better this way because even if I was one of those content creators who get gifted a bunch of games to review or play on stream, the results would be even worse on the score. This is kind of something that already happened with Veilguard and Assassin's Creed Shadows. Well, actually, to be specific, it happened more so with Shadows. With Veilguard, I was actually in the mood to jump in and see what's what. Then, around the start, things were okay in the first few hours, but as the hours counted on, they got worse, as I was hoping that things would improve. I hoped the story would get better, it didn't. I hoped better side quests would pop up, they didn't. I hoped combat would evolve in the mid to late game and it would be more fun to engage with game-changing abilities, but it didn't happen. I hoped characters would have grown on me, they didn't, so on, so forth. In general, I hoped things would evolve, but they never did, so the more that I kept playing it, the saltier I got at the game. Regardless, I kept at it because I was taking it as a job, to properly assess the game and do a review to inform my tiny little subscriber base at the time of how the game is. And holy shit, I'm so glad that I did because those reviews went into the 40, 50, 60,000 views and counting. But it was painful, and that's why I took such a huge break from playing it. Like, I finished the game at the end of November and I only made my final review video at the beginning of January, so I basically took the entire December off from that specific topic because I did not want to talk about it or even look at footage of the game. I needed to detox in order to be able to do a proper review video without it being basically a shit show. With Assassin's Creed Shadows it was different. I was straight up not in the mood for it at all. I tried to be, you know, by avoiding Assassin's Creed games all throughout 2024, and in a way I was open to it, but then around that time there were just way better games around. I wanted to play Kingdom Come Deliverance, I wanted to play Atomfall and Kazan, which came out a week later, and instead I forced myself through Shadows. It was just a huge annoyance right from the start, as the damn introduction was weak and cringeworthy, and the fatigue from the grindy and repetitive combat, open world and quest structure gave me physical pain. So forcing myself through Ghost of Yotei right now would be even worse, even for those people who think that they're doing gotchas on me when they say that I can't talk about it because I haven't played it. Like, I get it, I do genuinely like playing what I talk about. It's just the best way to do proper commentary on a game, plus it's good to know what the fuck you're talking about. But I'm not exactly blind here. I've been checking some reviews and no commentary playthroughs. If I was playing through it, it'd probably be even more frustrating because of how big the damn thing seems to be. Repetitiveness and bloat is something that has really been affecting me lately. I don't know what it is, maybe it's because I've been playing too many of these games, but damn it, I need smaller games. I need shorter games, man. This is why, even though I praised Borderlands 4 a bit before on a previous video, I'm already so over it right now because it's just the same shit over and over and over, and there's so much of it too. So again guys, with Yotei it would result in an even bigger ass whooping than if I just wait and pick it up used later on, or I steal it from my cousin's place while he's at work. Dude's got a low fence, it ain't even that hard, man.
Do you see me f***ing laughing, my nigga?
Even if just to go through the narrative and do a bit of a dissection of it to see where exactly I stand on it and with what was done gameplay wise. But hopefully that does it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, you are a trooper and I will share my Tylenol with you. If you enjoyed the video, giving it a like really helps it get out there, and if you're new, hey, why not subscribe? The more subs I get, the angrier these soy boy shills get as well. And the angrier they get, the more content you get, so it's basically a win-win-win scenario. But if not, hey, fair enough, maybe next time. I'll see you guys in the next video, thanks again, and take care.